Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to CIED 2200-800. I am Dr. Verdicchio. I'm going to be your professor, your mentor, and the person who will shepherd you along for the next 14 weeks. We are blessed to have a small class. There are 15 people in this class as I make this presentation. And I'm pleased to say of the 15 people, there are some old faces from courses that I have taught, so I welcome you back. For those of you who don't know me, I hope that we will learn about each other, and there are one or two transfer students who are in the class, so I stand ready to assist you as you get to know William Paterson and orient yourself to your education program here. So this will be a short video. I wanted to make a statement about the fact that today, January 20th, 2021, is a day that you will talk to your children about, and your grandchildren, I would suspect. It is a day that there was a lot of emotion. There was a transition in our federal system as a result of the test, the situation, the storming of the Capitol on January 6th, and of course the events of the last 2 weeks in between the inauguration and that event. Make no mistake about it, this is an inflection point in history. So as we go through the course, I want this course to be relevant so that when you have that conversation with your children and your grandchildren and they say to you, oh, you have to hear about that story again, that you will say, yes, you have to hear about that story again. It is very relevant. So yes, we are at an inflection point in history. Well, if that's not enough, 1 year ago today, I started teaching CIED 2200. I had a wonderful class of 20 people. We met on the Valley Road campus. We were organized, as you will be shortly, and came March, that was it. We all thought that maybe we would be back together again before the end of the semester. And in fact, I put in my calendar pandemic over by June 1st. Well, here we are just about a year later, and we know the story. So that's another inflection point in history. So not only do we deal with some of the political realities of this world, we also, of course, deal with COVID and what goes along with that. I would add one third dimension I would ask you to consider, and that is if you listen to President Biden's speech today, 99% of what he focused on was domestic issues, not making a comment on whether he should or shouldn't, but he did. Given our state of affairs, certainly that was very appropriate. What he didn't talk about, and I would ask you to consider, what do the other nations in the world perceive of our situation as we go along right now? And so I ask you to think about that. There was silence about that. So what am I going to ask you to do? One, I hope that you will grow personally and academically in this class. Most do. Secondly, I hope you will refresh your worldview. You will think about the world differently than you thought about it before. Third, I hope that you will consider the fact that in this COVID age, when we look at a map, we find that there are tens of millions of children throughout the world who are not attending school, or who are attending in some form of a hybrid. And of course, there are some who attend as business as usual, and I think that's a minority of countries. So we want to to come to grips with the meaning of that as we go along. And finally, the key point to this course is what is global is local. That what happens in the world affects us locally. So I hope that those are a few of the things that you will reflect upon before class tomorrow, Thursday at 2 o'clock. And one last item. I would like to spend a moment, go around the room, the virtual room, and ask each one of you to share in a sentence or a paragraph, which is, I know, hard to do, how you have reflected upon, one, the pandemic, how it has affected you personally, and then, of course, the insurrection that took place on January 6th. And if you would like to reflect and also share any thoughts you had about the speech today at the inauguration, and in particular the poet laureate, and if you have some comments. So, let's start out by sharing some of your thoughts. So, what do we need to do? First, I will be sending you an invitation to Zoom. So our class will be on Zoom. I will send you a recurring invitation. So you will get that shortly. Secondly, the content for the class is on Blackboard. So I will release Blackboard shortly, give you access to it, and then appended to this email, I will send you a copy of the syllabus so you have that in front of you. We'll spend time tomorrow doing a technology check, going through some of the moving parts to this course. And hopefully by the time you leave tomorrow, you'll be on firm ground with regard to how the semester will proceed. For those who know me and have had me in a class before, I am very accessible. I have office hours in the evening and by appointment, and of course now they will be on Zoom. And if you have a burning question or something that you need to know, if you email me, I generally get back to people rather quickly. So I like to be accessible. I like to know each student, each one of you, and develop a relationship with you through this course, and in some cases beyond. So let me just end with this. I will send you this material shortly, give you access to Blackboard, the invitation to Zoom, and of course the attached syllabus. So I ask you to take a look at it before class tomorrow. Secondly, I just hope that you will consider deeply the events of the last couple of weeks and bring your impressions of that to class with you tomorrow so we can share your reflections. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 2 o'clock on Zoom, and have a great evening. And of course, if you have a question, send me an email.